Hey guys, I am back with another segment, or should I say, with a response to a comment that I got. With a response that I got to my last video. Um, Again, I didn't forget where I said I was going to pick this up, and hopefully, I'm not going to ramble, but my lips are dry, so give me a few seconds here. Mm. I love this little peak thing that I have here. Cupid's bow. I think that's what you call it. Alright, my lips are really dry. Okay, I didn't forget where I said I was going. Well, where my eesh, where I said I was going to come back to in the book, but energy. So I want to talk about energy. Sometimes when you are out of a relationship for a long period of time, and from my experience, this has happened to me as well, you falsely pick up on energy from people. Like, you kind of feel like their niceness, them being nice to you, is them saying that they want to be in a committed, they want a commitment with you, or they want to be with you, they want to date you. And it really kind of sucks. There was a movie that I watched. I love this movie, by the way. It's called He's Just Not That Into You, and the main character was basically creating relationships in her head with other people. So if a guy was nice to her, for instance, and he said, "Oh yeah, that was fun. You know, the conversation was fun. I'll talk to you later," she would say, "Wait a minute, you'll talk to me later?" So she's like, "Are you gonna call me, or I'm gonna call you? Should I take your number, or should you take my number?" Or there was another instance where she went out on a date with a guy, and he says, "Oh yeah, this was nice, you know, catch you later," or something like that. And she wound up stalking the guy. She was waiting by the phone. She was doing all these things, just anticipating that this guy was going to catch her later. Um, he didn't give any specifics. He didn't say, "Yeah, you know, I want to go out on a second date." He didn't say, "Let's go out on a second date." He didn't say any of those things, but she kind of took his niceness, and because he wasn't being an a-hole, she took that energy, and because he said he had a nice time, she took that, and she took that aura that he gave off, or whatever it is you want to call it, and she carried on in her head, feeling like he was, if you watch the movie, you know what I'm saying, that he was going to come back to her, or that he was interested in a second date. And the secondary character, I guess, in the movie was basically schooling her towards the end. Like, if this dude did not say this out of his mouth, no matter what his behavior was, that's not what he meant. And so I was talking to someone, or someone called me for some advice, and you know who you are, and it was a guy actually, and he was saying that he was in a dilemma. He had a dilemma, wondering, out of two people who really never actually said, "Let's get together." They never actually said, "I want to be with you." They never actually, as far as I'm understanding, and I could be wrong, but the way the conversation went, I don't think they did. They never actually made solid plans to pursue, or to go towards having a commitment or committed relationship with him. And in his head, he was having a dilemma, trying to decide who to choose out of the two people. And I've been in that situation before, where I, within myself, I want to call it desperate. I felt so desperate to be in a commitment. I hate to say that, but I mean, there's no other way to say it. I was longing so much to be in a committed situation, or a committed relationship, that I let the niceness of a guy that I was seeing um, allow me to give him credit for a relationship that didn't exist. For instance, We had a nice conversation. Went out for a nice meal, and let's just say an example. And this may be fictional. I may be combining some things because I don't want to give this away too much for people that may know the situation, and you know, they would we would be in situations where may have made eye contact for a prolonged period of time, and there may have been some smiling and some what I would call flirtation going on, and when we would converse, the conversations would be full of what I consider to be blushing on both sides. And this sounds juvenile, I know, but as we all know, these things happen, and so I, in my head, would then go home and think about that situation. Oh, we had this flirtation going on, and I wonder, what if it had gone like this? And then I'd kind of add things to the story in my head that didn't happen, and or I would remember things that did happen and kind of just build this up in my head so that the next time I saw this guy, I'm like, feeling as though we've spent so much time together, and therefore kind of almost giving him privileges for time that he didn't spend. And within that realm, I was kind of giving them kind of just putting them in the box of who I thought they were based on what I wanted, based on my own fantasy. And for this friend, I feel that he's definitely doing the same thing, because the two people that he is trying to decide whether he's going to stop his life for to be with this one or that one, like basically move from where he is to go stay with them, either one, like pick one, and there's like all this long distance and lag time in between for this situation. Um, and, this friend of mine was basically letting me know that. So there was a lot of him in between, like I said, with me with that example, just kind of fantasizing and spending time with that person in your head. So therefore, that person has a bigger becomes a bigger part of your heart than they should, right? Because you're not really allowing the absent time to be absent time. You're kind of filling it in for them, right? In order to build a relationship and in order to build a commitment, you got to spend time together. You got to get to know each other. You have to talk to each other, not just texting, but texting is okay, I guess, if that's the kind of thing you like. You actually have to get to know that person, right? And they say that the best relationships start out as friendships, and in order to have a friend, you really have to get to know. Wow, you really have to. It's really shiny. Get to know that person to decide whether or not you guys are going to be friends. I don't know why the hell my forehead is so shiny. Going to be friends, and whether it's going to move past friendship into a relationship. And so I just feel for my friend, and I just it was advising him, not to go off of what you think is this positive energy. Like, well, yeah. So I asked, well, are they feeling the same way? Yeah, they're both feeling the same way. And even though one person was kind of standoffish in the beginning, he kind of started to pull back and ignore. And sometimes people just want what they can't have. So when you start to back off and you start to ignore them and they start to come towards you, sometimes it's not really that they really want to be with you. It's just that they miss their attention, and they've gotten used to that attention from you, and all the benefits that may have come along with that attention. And so they're like, oh, I'm losing this person, and they may feel like they're losing you to somebody else. And so then sometimes they'll put in that energy, they'll put in that effort, they'll start calling you, or they'll start doing these things that may make you feel good in the moment. But in the same token, you got to think about what your non-negotiables are, and you got to think about what your boundaries are, and you have to really understand and really recognize whether or not this person is crossing your boundaries, and I forgot the thing that I said before, but if they're doing that, and not just go off the fact that they're being nice or that they're flirting with you or that they may be calling you. You have to have some things some must-haves, and make sure that this person is checking all those boxes for the must-haves, especially if you're going to do something life-changing for yourself, like move to go where they are. Yeah, and that can be devastating. But going back to the movie, that he's just not that into you, you can see, and that's how I think a lot of situationships happen. I was watching a show that I was telling you guys about before, with this radio host named Kendra does on Instagram, and the guy called the situationship. What did he call it? He called it something that I never heard before, but it was so real and so honest. He said it was a something that just meant friends with benefits, just like a situation like that. It wasn't a situation ship. He called it something that had to be do with it was a sexual thing, and he said he was like in his 30s and he had never been in a relationship. So all his life that he's been having sex with women, and maybe multiple times with the same woman, and maybe over months and maybe over years, that he's never called them his girl, his lady. He's never considered them his girlfriend. And he just basically chalked it up to the fact that he's very picky. And yeah, so either way, it's very possible to have a sexual a close and sexual relationship with somebody, and one of the two of you, or one of the two of you, can have more feelings for the other. One of the two of you can still feel like this is not a relationship. This person is not my boyfriend. This person is not my girlfriend. This person is not good enough. People will sleep with you even if they feel like you're not boyfriend or girlfriend material, by the way. And I'm sure that a lot of us, if not all of us, have actually experienced that. And so we're looking at all these sweet things that people may be saying or doing when it comes down to us, and they're doing it because they want the benefits. They want whatever the benefits are that they're getting from you, and so they will play that role if they have to play that role. So when you think about it and you say, well, I know this person is feeling me because this is how they're behaving towards me. They're smiling at me, or Christmas time they take me, I don't know, they buy me a gift, whatever it is. People do that and still not claim you or consider themselves to be in a relationship, or even a committed relationship with you. So basically, bottom line, I'm saying that it is like so disgusting, I think. I mean, unless that's your thing. But well, basically, don't be fooled by the energy that somebody is giving you, because I don't want to say that people can fake that energy, but just make sure that on top of them giving you that energy, you know what it is that you need in a relationship. You know what it is that is non-negotiable for you, and you are saying, like, for instance, okay, you make me feel good, you make me laugh, you text me every now and then, I like the fact that you're funny, I like the fact that when we're together we hold hands, but are you introducing me to your friends? Have I met your friends? If that's a non-negotiable for you. Have I met your parents? If that's a non-negotiable for you. Do I have a relationship with your parents? Are you calling me once a day? Are you checking up to see how I'm doing? And there are some things that, and I know innately, like within yourself, you feel that there's something wrong or there's something missing when you're not getting your non-negotiables, even when you don't realize that they're non-negotiables. And I've been in this situation, I hate to say it, but several times. And that is why I had fallen into that situationship category when I wanted to be in a relationship. And there were a few times where I convinced myself that a situation was a relationship. that I was in a relationship when it was really just a situation where we kind of came together, we kind of comforted each other. You know, sometimes people want to skip past the formalities and get straight to the intimacy that you would think of, the intimacy that building a relationship leads to. That's what we would think, right? And so sometimes people want to just like jump to that part. And so people will do what they have to do to make you feel comfortable, even when it's not real. And so, and just wrapping this up now, know what you want, have some non negotiables, have those boundaries, and make sure that in order, say if you want to be in a relationship, you want to be in a committed relationship, don't look past the boundaries. Don't look past the boundary breakers. Like if I say that I need somebody to call me once a day, and this person is calling me once every other day, and that's something that is non-negotiable for me for a relationship, then even if it hurts, and even if that person for right now is filling my gap or void to my intimacy void, I have to be willing to walk away from that and let go of it, because it'll just build up and build up, and the longer you wait and the more energy you put into it, the harder it's going to be to break away. And if that person decides to be the first person to break away, you're going to be destroyed, and you will have, the situation will have ended with you never having gotten to the point where you got what you wanted, or half of what you want, what you needed from the relationship. And so yeah, so just to thank you for that, E. You know who you are. Not trying to put you out there, but like I said before, I think that you need to know what your non-negotiables are. And I think that before you do something as life-changing as moving to be with someone, you guys should have more of a serious conversation, and maybe even move into a relationship before you go and have someone say, I was just being nice. You know, if someone doesn't come right out and say, I love you, you cannot think of their actions and how they make you feel. You can't use their actions and how they make you feel as a what is it called? You can't take that instead of them saying the actual words, no matter how shy they may be. If they did not say red, it ain't red. All right, guys. Thank you to all my new subscribers. I hope you gotten to this point. And I'm a little over my 15 minutes. Thank you for subscribing. Share this video with somebody that you think might need to hear this, and continue to like, and if you add to the conversation. What do you think? If there's something that you would like for me to talk about, if you know something about my life, or something that you want for me to go into more details that I may have touched, let me know, and I'll make a video about that as well. Thank you for spending this time with me. Love you, love you, love you, love you, love you, love you, and I will speak to you guys. I'll see you guys later.